Hello, hello, hello. We are making a video. The sun is just behind the tree now, giving out an amazing light. I have a daisy in my scarf, and it is nice. Daisies, they smell so incredibly good. I love daisies. I eat them every day. They're very, very good for you. And the apple tree has a whole lot of blossoms and they smell heavenly, absolutely heavenly. This is a white flower heaven, a white flower paradise. Is this so incredibly nice? And the rosy is going to have a white flower too. And the manroot, the one that has these strange prickly cucumbers. That one has white flowers too right now. And there are more daisies. It is absolutely heavenly. And then there is a brush over there that has yellow flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And when wind comes, the wind blows down some of these petals, which always reminds me of my aunt's wedding, when my cousin and I were the flower girls that were taking handsful of real flower petals out of our baskets and throwing them onto the ground for the groom and the bride. And I'll never forget that I thought it was fascinating. That was a Christian wedding, a white wedding, and I was fascinated with all of these white flower petals that we were throwing down on the ground for my aunt and her husband. Really, really amazing. And right now I want to send Christel und Klaus, that's their names, Christel and Klaus. I want to send them love. Klaus is already in heaven. I don't know what Christel is. I haven't seen her anymore. I have not heard from them anymore. This is so sad because I told them that I will leave them alone now. I felt like I went on their nerves. So, but I want to send you, Christel, my deepest, deepest love, infinite love, and hugs, and compassion for you. And I appreciate you. You know, if you didn't want to call Peter, but you don't owe me anything, okay? So, and I don't know whether you believe Fabian or you believe me. I know that most people from my family, they did not believe me. They believed my brother. They put themselves on my brother's side 100%, and he's the one that stole my inheritance. It's very tragic and sad. And he tried to twist it all around, calling me tragic. So I called him tragic too. He said, that's real tragic, in the last phone conversation. Facebook video conversation. That's real tragic, he said. Like Hunter Biden would say that to someone in order to get money. And so I said, yeah, Fabian, it is very, very tragic. And I saw the look on his face. He knew exactly what I know and what I was thinking. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he has been doing. Drugs do that to people, but that's still not an excuse. I know drugs do that to people, but I still don't let him get off the hook because of the excuse of drugs. So that's not good enough of an excuse to cheat the sister out of her inheritance. That's not good enough of an excuse of 3 million euros. No, that's not good enough of an excuse. I would not do it. I would never do that. And I met another one. I met a lady. Her name is Becky. I've never been on drugs, but Becky has been on cocaine. She was working at the Dollar Tree store, and I always thought, Becky, there's something. She looks really down and out and everything, but there's something very endearing and very, very special about her. She has a resilience and a deepest compassion for animals and everyone. And here she has been so bad, down and out with cocaine, that she ended up on the street, and her sister had to rescue her. Real tragic. And Becky said to me, your brother is never gonna stop. He will never stop until the money is completely run out. No matter how much money he has, he will squander it all, on the drugs, and he will end up on the street. That's why Tony Robbins always said, money itself, or Dr. Phil also talked about this. Tony Robbins and Dr. Phil and many other people talked about this. Money itself is not a wealth creator. People always say, I need money. Well, that's, if someone gave you $1 million, you would spend it in less than a year. And you'll be right back there where you started. So, and that's a fact. I see this fact. I see it clearly. I have no money, for example, and yet I am creating an empire inside of my brain. Can you believe it? It's hard to believe, right? I wouldn't say it like this if it wasn't true. Because I'm not the kind that brags. And I'm not bragging about this. I'm telling you because I have experienced this firsthand. So I experienced something that I want to share with other people, that I want other people to do as well. Wealth is something that happens inside of your brain. If you take drugs, you prevent that from happening. If you take drugs, that inner wealth falls. It crashes on the ground. That's what happens. People are mentally bankrupt when they take drugs. That's how serious this is. It wouldn't matter how much money you give these people. For example, Rodney King, he got millions of dollars given to him in a lawsuit because the police, that was during the LA riots in 1994, I believe it was. And I was there in LA when that happened. My friend Elsa and I, we went to get something at the grocery store, and the police were interrogating us on the street. They said, there's a curfew, you're not supposed to get out of your home. And we both acted like the total tourists, which we were at that time, at least. We had been there for about 2 years. and totally naive on the whole situation and everything. Didn't even pay any attention. And they said, no, there is, because of the riots, people are not allowed to go onto the streets. You have to go back to your apartment. But they were nice to us because we were very young at that time. We were in our 20s. So at least we already got our shopping done. We went back to the apartment and had to wait out this curfew time that was about a week until they lifted it. And what happened there with Rodney King was that guy was on PCB, on a real hefty drug like fentanyl and bath salts. And he was a big guy and he was kicking, and they had to come like with 10 police officers, white ones and black ones, that had to actually tackle him down. But guess what? The wokeism was already on its way. They sued the shit out of them. And that's very difficult to sue the police department. But if you have an entire army of black lawyers that call themselves civil rights lawyers, right? An entire organization of black civil rights lawyers, and their whatever constituents or whatever they're called, okay, the supporters and all of those, their activists and so on, their juries and so on. So yeah, they had to pay this guy millions of dollars, and guess what happened? He ended up again on the street until a friend actually had to take him into her house, where he drowned in her swimming pool because of drugs. Okay, so he spent all of that money in just a year or two. And that's what drug people do. That's what drug addicts do. So, and it's a miserable, miserable, miserable existence. That's real misery. Okay. People in the chat room told me, and they were all on drugs. That was a couple of years ago. I don't know which chat room that was, but I think the science chat room, and there were a bunch of people. I don't know if those were my haters or some of them, but all of the people in the chat room, well, I would think the vast majority, 99% of people in that chat room was on hard drugs. And they even said if I had access to heroin, I would take that too. And almost like they think it's good or something. And it's suicide. That's what it is, okay? And they were like slowly killing themselves with these drugs. And they tell me that they would rather have fun instead of how did they word themselves? Instead of gradually or like slowly becoming decrepit or slowly withering or something like this. And it is exactly reversed, okay? They are the ones that are slowly withering when they are taking drugs. The people that are free from drugs, that are taking charge of their life, of their health, okay, of their mental health, of their physical health, those are the ones that are in power. Those are the ones that are in power in their own lives, not power over others. Empowerment, okay? Those are the ones that are truly empowered. Those are the ones that have a healthy body and mind and brain. And that creates an empire from within, okay? You don't even need money to enjoy a wealth of flower petals, okay? There's no money needed for this. This is nature in its true, fullest abundance, giving us their abundance. And the scent of that, the scent is truly heavenly. truly, truly heavenly. This is probably the most amazing scent in the whole world. Apple blossoms. Amazing. Only very, like real, that scent is almost as good as inside of the ears of a dog. That's my older dog cologne earwaxy scent. That's why I always call the ears of a dog flower petals. Because I love the smell inside of a dog's ear. I love the entire dog smell. The feet, heavenly. The coat when they're wet from the rain, I love infinitely much. I love their smell. I have to have a dog in my life. I cannot live without a dog. Paul would like to adopt a tapir. I showed him a tapir mother and her baby. They're in a zoo type of sanctuary, and I think they're at the brink of extinction. A lot of those prehistoric looking animals. Those are actually the prehistoric elephants, the tapirs. Okay, you can clearly see from the shape of their body and the face that they are a precursor to elephants. Okay, that's how elephants have evolved, with a muzzle that started to grow out without any cartilage, right? A trunk. They have a 1/4 size trunk, these tapirs, and they use that trunk and they smell things. They even grab things with this already. So absolutely gorgeous animals, pure art. Okay, I would love to have a tapir. I always was fascinated with tapirs when I was a child, because they are modern art. That's what they are. And I would love to have an elephant. I would love to have all of these amazing beings. Okay, but for that we have to buy land in Indonesia, somewhere near Bali or Jakarta or Sumatra or Papua New Guinea, any of these regions, okay, that are directly at the equator, that are the Asian equator areas, and I think the tapir is from there, and also the Asian elephant is from there. So I would love to rescue those and have land there, have 1,000 acres there in a jungle. I would love that. I would never cut any plant down. Okay, I would preserve all of them. But obviously, we don't have the money to buy 1,000 acres in Papua or Indonesia. But that would be my ultimate dream. That would be the absolute ultimate dream. But we have to do what we have available, and that's my recommendation for anyone. Don't reach for something that is completely outside of your attainability. Okay, don't reach for that. Don't reach for Billie Eilish. She is way outside of your attainability, unless your name is Elon Musk. Okay, so then I would love to bring these two together. I would love to be a matchmaker from heaven. That's what I want to be. And I want to have a basket of white flower petals, and I would like to grab them with my hand like this, the flower petals, and dump them on top of Elon Musk's head, where they drizzle down like this, and on top of Billie Eilish's head like this, and it drizzles down. And then I say, and now you are wife and husband. I would love to see that. They need to breed, okay? They need to make babies. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, genius babies. Oh my gosh, would that be awesome? That'd be so awesome. So anyway, it's getting a little chilly now. The baby dog is still in the sun, catching the last sunlight now of the day. And it is wonderful. It is a wonderful moment. It's a wonderful day. Yeah, it's very nice here. So, but it is getting cold. Peace and love for all living beings.